Okay. I'm going to go through the stuff that you really need to know because I am down to 12 minutes to finish this video before the bell rings and kicks me out. So I'm going to bang this out real quick. When you have to solve a quadratic, you need to factor if possible. In this case, it is. And then set each factor equal to 0. And therefore, x equals 8 or 3. And then check them both and you'll see they both work. Over here, you want to set it equal to 0 again. So then when you can't factor, then you say, oh no, and you move the 14 to the other side, and your answer is x equals plus or minus square root 14. Here we're going to try to factor. I think it'll work. 3x and x and 2 and 1 and negative 6 plus 1 equals 0. So then x equals negative 1/3 and x equals 2. Over here, we're going to factor out an x. Everybody always forgets you can take out a GCF when you have a binomial like this. So x equals 0 and 4. Down here, I know x equals 1. That's one of the zeros. I'm going to factor this into x minus 5, x minus 6. So x equals 5 and 6. 3 answers. It's a cubic. Over here, I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. Then I'm going to square both sides. So x equals 1600. I think. 40 times 40. Yeah, that works. Okay. These are really important on your test. Slope of 5 passes through, so I would just do y plus 4 equals 5 times x minus 3. It doesn't say it has to be in slope-intercept form, so that's done. If it did have to be in slope-intercept form, we would solve for y, multiply by 5, so this would be 5x minus 15, subtract 4 from both sides, y equals 5x minus 19. But again, if it doesn't say that, you don't have to do it. Here, the first thing we have to do is find the slope, so y minus y over x minus x gives us negative 3 over negative 1, which is 3. So then the slope, you can either use the first point, y minus 1 equals 3 times x minus 4, or the second point, y plus 2 equals 3 times x minus 3. Both of these are correct, either one. The next question, if I want to be parallel to this line, I have to first find the slope of this line. Minus 4x divided by 2, y equals negative 2x minus a half. So this is the slope, and here's the point. So y minus 1 equals negative 2 times x plus 2. Okay, why is this so hard to see everything? Okay. Slope of 0, that's a horizontal line, so the equation is y equals a number, so y equals 1, because that's what y equals in this problem. Through the origin means it has to go through the point 0, 0. The slope of this line is negative 3/4, so the perpendicular has to be positive 4/3. So I'm going to do y minus 0 equals 4/3 times x minus 0. Just that. Okay. Find the inverse. Basically, switch x and y and solve for y. So y equals x plus 3. I'm going to go x equals y plus 3, subtract 3, y equals x minus 3. Here, y equals square root of x, so x equals square root of y. Square both sides, x squared equals y. Here, y equals ln of x equals ln of y. To get y by itself, I'm going to go e to the x equals y. Because remember, this means log base e, so base to the answer equals the number. Over here, this is really y over y plus 2 equals x. So I'm going to multiply both sides. This one's tricky. X times y plus 2. And then I'm going to distribute. So I have xy plus 2x. And then I'm going to subtract that. Y minus xy equals 2x. And then factor out a GCF over here. This one is hard. I'm doing it fast because I'm running out of time. This one should have caused you a little anxiety. Y equals 2x over 1 minus x. But you do have to be able to do it. So this is your final answer. Okay. This stuff you should be able to do by now. Composition of functions, plug stuff in. For instance, f of j of 2. I'm going to plug 2 into j and get 5. And then I'll plug 5 into f and get 126. X plus h is a little bit tricky. You have to do x plus h cubed plus 1, and you actually do have to do all this multiplication out. I don't have time, but you have to do it. Simplest form. Okay, now down here, system of equations. This one should be pretty easy. I'm not going to do it. This one you have to know how to do. The easiest way to do a quadratic with a linear is to do substitution. I'm going to take out that y and put in what it's equal to. All I did was replace y with this whole expression. Combine like terms. Set it equal to 0. Factor. So x equals 1 and negative 10, and then you have to plug it back in to find the y's. 7 times 1 is 7, so y is 12. So 1 comma 12 is a solution. And make sure it works up here too. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 9 is 12, so that does work. Negative 10, this would be negative 70. Add 70, y would be 89. Make sure it works here. Negative 10 squared is 100, minus 20 is 80, plus 9 is 89. So another coordinate is negative 10, 89. Always have to find the x and the y. All right, last page. We're going to be able to do this. Anytime you have a true or false problem and you're not sure, plug in numbers. For instance, in this problem, let's make x equal 9 and y equal 2. So this is, well, let's make it a perfect square. Let's say 16. Oh, no, because that one might work. No, okay. The square root of x plus y would be the square root of 25, which is 5. The square root of x is 3. The square root of y is 4. 3 plus 4 is not 5. This is not true. Over here, hopefully you know when you multiply variables, you add exponents, so this is really x to the 8th, not true. X to the 5th, y to the 5th is the same as xy to the 5th. That is true. This one would be x to the 15th. So these two would be switched. This equals that, and this equals that. X to the 5 minus w is the same as x to the 5th over x to the w. When you divide variables, you subtract exponents, so this is true. Here, it would be x to the 5t, not t plus 5, so not true. This is absolutely true. The square root of a quotient is the quotient of the square root. So if I just rewrote this as the square root of 9 over the square root of 4, you would still get 3 over 2. This is the same as 4 to the 1/2 x to the 1/2. So 4 to the 1/2 is 2, but x to the 1/2 is not x, it's root x, so not true. This is not true because it's really, the square root of 1 is 1 over root x, and then you would rationalize, so you would have root x over x, which is not the same as just plain old, oh, if that's a negative sign, oh, that is true then. I couldn't really tell that that was a negative. If that's negative 1/2, that means 1 over root x. So those are the same thing. True. Square root of x squared is x. Is that true? It's the absolute value of x. Square root of x squared is x. Not necessarily, because for instance, if x is negative 4, then this would say the square root of 16 is positive 4, so that's not true. This one's absolutely not true. If you don't believe me, plug in numbers. 4/3 cubed root of x to the 4th. This is backwards. It should be the cubed root of x to the 4th. This is absolutely not this. This is the thing that I will jump out a window. When you square a by, you get a try. X to the negative 2/3 is 1 over the cubed root of x squared. Absolutely, that's true. E to the ln of x squared is true, is x squared, and ln of e to the cubed is 3. True. Those are all true. All right, good luck, happy studying. I'm done. F10. My goodness, these new computers don't have the F buttons on them.